have a daughter who's 3.5 years old, and she's the love of my life. Her name is Summer. I want her to eat her fruits and vegetables like you probably all want your children to eat. And I tell her, I said, there's such nutrition here, it's going to give you energy. Like she understands. Like, no. And then on top of that, I think about the students I teach. And I just want them to kind of understand where I'm coming from. Oh, the value in education, the value of paying attention, the value in having a positive growth mindset. Again, funny joke. If you meet them where they're at, that's more than half the battle, okay? Or as the Zen proverb once said years ago, when the student is ready, does anybody know how to finish this? The master will arrive. You guys are the masters. The students are your children. All my years teaching, being an athletic coach, being a parenting family coach, speaking on topics, mentor, tutor. I pretty much never grew up and graduated from tweens and teens. But I've discovered 3 universal truths that apply to all children. And it's important to know these because everything that you've heard from all of the speakers, including myself, this is foundational to really understand when it comes to conflict, when it comes to disciplining a child. You have to root yourself in these truths. We're going to do the 1, 1, 2. When we inhale, you're going to inhale through the nose. And when you exhale with pursed lips, you're going to exhale through the mouth. But you're going to inhale, and you could do it with your hands or eyes closed. I like to do 1, 2. So that's a double exhale. Okay? And again, you can do that on your own a few times. So I'm going to ask you at this time, either with your eyes closed or head down, I'm going to ask you to go back again to when you were your child's age. Now, if you have multiple children, choose the one that needs the most love, needs the most acceptance, right? Choose that child. Anybody else would like to share how you felt with that exercise? Okay, I see a hand over there.
I had a very good childhood.
Good.
But I am realizing with this session and what I thought of and the other sessions that I'm doing exactly what I hated about my childhood. I'm doing exactly what I said. I'm not gonna do what my mom did when I'm a mother. I'm repeating her words, screaming as she did. Everything that I thought I'm not gonna do when I'm a mom, I'm repeating the whole thing again.
Well, today's the day we're going to break the cycle. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. What caused the other person to feel that way? So now you're getting into identification. Now you're getting into cause. So a basic example, and I see this all the time, is physical altercation. A couple boys, one boy's just joking around, gives a kid a push. Another kid looks at him, pushes him back. The other kid goes, starts to hit him. The other kid then chokes him. The other kid chokes, and they're going against the wall, and then the teacher has to break it up. It's like, okay, then they get in trouble because the rule is no hands on anybody. Then they get suspended from school, and now they're missing academics, and it's just awful. And it happens way too frequently in the schools. So with that being said, going through this empathy and conflict resolution, you can understand better what you really have control of is your own self. You don't have control over others. You can influence, but you can't control others. So that's an important thing for a child to realize. Now, I think you all know that a child's brain is not fully developed until the age of about 25 when you're an adult. Some research shows even more than that. So, and it's an area of the brain too, the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system, which is all about impulsive sort of behaviors. And as a result of that, we have to teach children this skill. It's foundational before any academics comes about, that we have emotional intelligence, right? Then the academics is a byproduct of strong foundational emotional intelligence. I couldn't emphasize that enough. There's a place for the why, and it's going to follow here. So here's a shortened version of this, and I do this with my students. Like, I'll give you an example. The other week, one of the students was standing on a chair and hanging something up on my wall. Another student decided to come over and just push him off the chair. Like, what? So now on from looking at self-regulation to self-discipline. If you didn't know this, the word discipline comes from the Latin word disciplina, which means to teach. And ultimately, we want our children to be, self-discipline is foundational for everything. We want our children to be their own teachers, teachers of perseverance, teachers of resilience, teachers of determination, teachers of collaboration, communication. I can go on and on and on. Critical thinking. We'll do a little breathing exercise again. So we're going to go upward and we're going to breathe in. And to your right, which will be that way, go and back up. Okay, and then down. And we'll do another one to your side. Breathe in. And down. Now again, these are exercises you can do anytime you're feeling stressed, anxious, panicked, anything of that nature. You can always do exercises, and especially when you're dealing with children. It isn't so much about what happens to us with our children as it is to how we react to what happens. Super important. Look at this. Between the stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and power to choose our responses. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So for example, if a child's upset at something, they're throwing things, and let's just say something breaks, like glass. That's a stimulus. That's an event. So your response, before you respond, you have this little window of time where your freedom, your ability to actually think and make a decision that's rational comes into play. So when glass is on the floor, you can easily be like, all right, that's it. You're grounded forever. Give me your phone. Give me your iPad. Give me everything. And then your child learns that when things are stressful or, something bad happens, they could yell and scream. Instead, you can take a little pause in that moment. You could say, all right, I'd like you to stand over there for the next 5 minutes. We'll figure this out. I'm going to clean this up. And then that gives that little space for you to breathe again, do some breathing exercises. It gives you space for them to as well sort of contemplate, reflect, and that's so super important. And then a rational decision can be made where you can come together. And I'm going to show you how you can either come together or apart in this next one. And suddenly, they feel their voices have been heard. The connection is there. It's not about you as the parent telling them they were wrong and it was against their character. No, they've owned their actions. And that's what you want, ownership of actions. Nothing against personal your child, because that doesn't do anything for a relationship. This is the last day of school I'm going to zap to. So now we're into June, and I'm your teacher. So I'm going to put on the board, everybody. You're my students. Okay, everybody on the board. Think big. Does anybody know what think big means? And usually everybody goes, no. Like, no. Someone goes, think big or go home. That's like a saying. It's like, how many of you heard of that saying, by the way? Think big or go home. Yeah. So I said, well, you notice the dots after the letters? Each of them stand for something. And here's what I want to show you. This acronym is the key to unlocking your child's full potential. All right? And everything we've talked about thus far is kind of leading up to this. All right, so you get a copy of my book, The Ultimate Guide. Was that you? No, is that you? You. It was you. I'd like you to put your name and email on that, and I'll collect it at the end. All right, I'm going to give you a little giveaway for, and you have a choice of what course you would like for free. Okay? Yep. Right? And the global movement right now is about girl empowerment. All right, go girls. Girl empowerment, and to use your voices to make big changes in the world. And it's called Maya McClure, the Brave Science Girl. So you can check that out. So with that being said, I want to thank you for being here. And remember, you're part of the revolution, one child, one parent at a time for this generation and future generations to come. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.